Was goody good, fam. Check out the movie Magic, right? Last time you were here, there was none of that poof laptop setup, props, and all that good stuff. My millennial did it. David to you. If you're looking on Instagram, I am David to you. His mom knew he was going to be a tech person. What did I tell you? Digital, audio, video, I delivered to you. She birthed him, slapped him on his butt, and said, and let there be tech. So anyway, give my millennial some heads up on Instagram. He does that. He lives off that like nonsense. Over here to my right side, hiding out in the cut in the shadows, that's Julio. You'll meet him, Julio Ramos Jr. with theinsuranceSchool.com. Anyway, we're outlining while I'm doing this and you're doing that. He's outlining the book in Spanish. Why? Why didn't I do it? I'm tired of everybody talking trash. Just because my name is Jason Perez, right? What is it? Perez. Jason Perez. Just because I'm Puerto Rican, I just want to let everybody know I'm a New Yorican, all right? They teach us a whole bunch of things in New York, but apparently none of us can speak Spanish. So where am I at? I'm in Miami, back at Neil Schwabe's house, MGA with United Healthcare. That dude with all those little extra certifications and acronyms we don't get tested on, so we keep jumping over. And he's like, every time I get done with a segment, he's like, yo, Jay, you don't think they need to know that? No, Neil. Pop! But anyway, I just want to make sure that if we do have anybody who is bilingual in the class and you happen to have slipped just into our English course, we do the same nonsense in our Spanish course, except we're like bouncing it back and forth. I'm like, hey, Julio, what about this? And he's like, da, 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 da. He just says it in Spanish, though, okay? So anyway, we're in chapter 5, cinco, right, Julio? Cinco. So look, categories of life insurance. In this, just so you know, if you think I'm jumping around and skipping a whole bunch of things, I am. Why? Because the state outline, which you would find in the front of the book, you could just press pause after I tell you where it's at. But if you're taking the 215, the 60-hour course, go to chapter 1, the very first chapter. When you see that unit 1, and then on the page to the left, you'll see that there's this whole outline there with the CFO logo on it, Chief Financial Officer, elected official, head of the Department of Financial Services. Don't say I didn't give you no answers to the test. Anyway, when you see his logo up there on the top, that is exactly what we're going to be tested on, all right? So when I jump over all these modified types of whole life policies and everything, don't think that I'm just pressed for time and I can't afford my millennial to stay after hours, right? Truth is, I'm looking just at the state outline, all right? What we're doing is we're extracting all of those words that you see in that book, because the book is designed to comply with state requirements. And you guys might be catching this on a live instructor replay, because I am a real person and sometimes I'm on DVR, right? But this is a live class. Some of you might be on a blended class and you might be taking this portion of it in correspondence, which means self-study. This is where the problem with the book comes in, because the book is basically identified as self-study. The state sees 1 hour of self-study as 9,000 words. Holy crap. To give you an idea of how much of an overkill this is, we're about to jump into chapter 5 and outline it, but if we were to look at the law section, law is huge, man. We're talking about 10 hours of the class right off the top, right? Chapter 26, we have reduced down to less than 2,000 words. Chapter 26 is nearly 10 hours of content. It's like 9.6 hours, right? So whoop out that highlighter on round 1. All I'm doing is showing you where the keywords and topics are, okay? I'm not explaining things just because I throw a little adjective in and something to help you connect a dot here and there. Doesn't mean we're studying it. The goal here is to blow right by it. Because once we highlight what's important, when I come back around, what's going to happen there is I'm just going to start spitting it out at rapid fire. We're going to have conversations at the speed of life. The only thing that I'm going to tell you is what chapter we're in, right? So if you had to sit there and read through all this crap, you'd never be able to keep up. No, I want you to be able to see what the conversation is, be able to go to a page and have it, your eyes run right to the highlighted portion, right? In the review is when I want you to whip out your pen and I want you to underline the key topics again, right? The first time around we highlighted it. to bring attention to it. The second time when we come back to it, the reason we're underlining it is because we're making a mental note that not only did we see it and identify it, but we reviewed it, okay? So let's go ahead and jump into page 84. Look guys, on this first portion on 511, that ordinary life insurance, when I first got into this class, I thought that they were identifying a type of whole life insurance, right? No, no, no. What they're saying is that this industrial insurance underneath it and group insurance, those are special types. But the term policies, the whole life policies, the universals, the variable interest strategies, all that stuff is ordinary in the industry, okay? So this ordinary life insurance, just for mental purposes here, visual purposes, just take the headline and then in that first line all the way at the end, highlight includes, and then drop down to the next line, temporary, term, and permanent whole life. So you highlighted that. Now the only other one I want you to highlight will be in the next line down, highlight variable universal life. Reason being is because that word variable, it indicates change, right? In this class, change means high risk. You might as well put it in the same category as a speculative risk. It is not insurable. So here, what we're talking about when you see that variable universal, well, universal makes me seem like I get the sun, the moon, and the stars. This variable, why are my sun, moon, and stars changing? The policy owner assumes the risk in there. It's the most high risk out there policy we're going to talk about, and it's classified under ordinary, okay? So nothing in this section is going to jump out and be very difficult. This industrial insurance, highlight the headline, but this is crazy. When I say at the end of the first line, highlight small issue amounts, $1,000. Premiums collected on a weekly or monthly basis by the agent at the policy owner's home. Hold up. Tell me that doesn't seem like something out of the 40s, right? Industrial insurance has absolutely nothing to do with anything industrial. It has to do with one of those old busted policies where Willie Loman from like Death of a Salesman knocking on the door and whatnot. Hey, Mrs. Betty, I need my $14 for your life insurance policy. Boom. Right? So that policy, for some reason, they do ask you about it, but it represents less than 1%. I don't know. Did they give us a number there? 1%, less than 1% of the industry. So why did they ask us about it? Don't ask me. And remember, don't throw stones at the instructor. I showed you where the info came from. Now, under that, the group insurance, just highlight that. And then take that first line, group life insurance is written for employer-employee groups. That's all I want you to take there, because this class forces us to go in depth in that discussion. All this is doing is identifying like a thesis where we're going with the discussion. So I know in the front of the book it tells you we want to jump in